Hello everyone, this is Lena Kears from Inspired Creations. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And today I have a pop-up card to share with you. I made this card, a similar card, I think it was in 2017 for one of my Christmas classes. And I remembered I had that one, so I dug it out and I thought I could adapt it to working with the Snowflake Wishes Bundle. So this is what the card looks like. And you can just have it displayed sitting like that, or you can display it like this, whichever way you like. Isn't that cute? So I'm using the Snowflake Wishes stamp set and the dies. The dies are really very nice. So this is a label die. These are the 3-stamp. No, it should be one more. Okay, I used 3-stamp dies to make these 3 here. I guess I forgot to put it back in. Anyway, oh, here it is. It fell. There's the other one. It comes with some nice words. May your season sparkle is the one we're using today. It's got a bunch of snowflakes there and some more words on this one. The words are easier to read when you see them on the cover here. So this is very versatile. I'll show you all the products that we're using today. So this piece of white cardstock is 9 3/4 by 4 1/4. And I'm going to use this diagram to show me how to fold it. So this shows all the markings and the score lines. The score lines here and at the 5 1/2 mark, and then cutting here to get the point, this point here. Okay, so I'm going to do that online so you can see exactly how I'm doing it. So you can take a screenshot of this if you would like to, and maybe I'll even put it this way. I don't know if that makes it easier for you to get a screenshot, but there you go. Okay, so then we also have these other pieces. So this is the piece of designer paper in the bottom here. And I'm just going to make sure I'm telling you the right measurements. This is 4 by 3 1/4. Then we have 2 pieces of navy, but they're not the same size. So this one is slightly larger. This is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8, and this is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. The 2 3/4 one has the white piece inside, so that is 2 5/8. And this is a 2 3/4 inch die that I've used here from the layering square dies. And it's this die right here. I label mine all with A, B, C, D, so I know I can just refer to B 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I used B5. But that's just my own lettering, so that doesn't really help you very much. And then the circle I cut from the Heather cardstock, and I used this 3rd one in here. It's this one right here. Okay, and that goes on top of there. And then the snowflakes, I already showed you the dies there, cut from the glimmer paper. I meant to put the sticky sheet on the back, and I forgot. So I'll just use my sponge trick, and I'll show you how that works too. Okay, let's put these all aside, and I'll bring in my cutter, and I'll show you how I got these sizes to work. So this is 9 3/4. So we're going to cut it at 5, not cut, score at 5 1/2. And I'm just going to fold it so that it's a little bit more visible. Then we're going to put marks here. And you can use a ruler, or you can use the cutter. Whoops. Well, I guess I'm using the cutter since that one's on the floor now. Okay, so 2 1/8 is right about there. And 2 1/8 is right about there. And then I'll flip it around, and we'll do the same thing again. The score line is in the cutter cutting edge here, and that's 2 1/8, and that's 2 1/8. And then we also need a 2 1/8 at the top. So okay, that's 2 1/8 there. Okay, well, we'll still use this. I'm going to, oh, I should put the dots all on the same side. Be a little bit more helpful. Okay, so we can start by cutting the pointy dots, the point of the card here. So just making sure the dots are right in the middle of the track there. And we'll just cut there and then do it the other way. There's my dot, there's my dot. Okay, so these pieces are waste. We don't need those anymore. Now from this dot that we cut to this dot, we're going to score. So I want to make sure that cutting blade is out of the way. So there to there, and it's just a long score line. Then flip it the other way from this corner to that mark. And that's all the scoring that we need to do. Okay, so I'm going to just take my bone folder and burnish these edges. Go all the way across this way. And go all the way across this way. And now we've got it scored very well, and this is just going to pop in and lay flat in here. Okay, so let's just make sure that everything is happy to be folded here. There we go. Now it will lay flat. Okay, so now let's prepare our pieces here. So on the bottom of this piece, I want to put the Merry Christmas. I don't know which way I want it to go. I guess like that. I'm just going to bring in the scrap paper so I don't make a mess. I'll just use my buddy to remove any static. And this Merry Christmas is not part of the Snowflake set. It is from another set called Star of Light. So this is Versamark ink, and you can see my pad is very well used. But it still works just fine. So you can't really see the words yet, but once I put the powder on it, they'll show up. A little bit more on the M. There we go. Move the powder out of the way. We don't want to melt that with the heat tool. And I will do the heat tool on screen here so that you can see how this quickly melts as you're, I call it cooking, as you're cooking it. Sorry for the noise. Hold your tool about 1 inch above your paper. And as soon as it turns white, then it's cooked. Just like magic. And you don't want to keep heating it now because then it will turn dull and it won't look as pretty. So that's quickly done. Okay, and then here also I want to stamp a few snowflakes. Now, this is my sample, And I stamped off here. And then I have another one that I made, and I did not stamp off. So depending if you like the snowflakes to be dark or light, that's the difference. I stamped off. So stamping off just means that once you pick up your ink, you stamp here, and then you stamp here. Stamp, stamp on your scrap paper. Depending how many you want. I think that's good for me. And, oh, one more. We'll keep that out because we need some here, but I want to stamp the words first. And that is with the navy ink. Okay, may your seasons sparkle. So I want to stamp right between these points. Like that. And we don't need the navy anymore, so we'll move it out of the way. Now we can bring this back in. And I think on here I will do it full strength. Just like that. Maybe a little one over here. There we go. And that's all the stamping we need. Now we can mount that on here. My stamping seal, it works very, very well. And once it's in your card, it's going to sit in the diamond position. And then we'll glue this together. Okay, so now we need to add the snowflakes, and since they're not sticky on the back, I will bring in my little mat here. Get rid of that. And I'll show you how to do the alternate way. So I just have a little sponge here, and I'm going to put some liquid glue just on the corner of my mat. And I'll pick it up like that. You don't want your snowflake to be moving on the mat because then you'll get glue on the front of it. Okay, now this is the big one, so it's going on this heather piece. And then we'll do it again with this one. And that goes on the bottom here. I need just a little dab of glue yet. Now when this dries, you can just take your thumb and rub all that dried glue off, and it's good to go again. I don't think I showed you where I got these dies from. So this one, this circle die, is from the Layering Circle Framelit dies. They have redone them in the new catalog. I think they're called something slightly different, but I just use this one right here, the third one in. And then for the squares, they're called the layering square. They don't have framelits in the name anymore, but the dies will be very similar. And I used this biggest one here to cut this shape here. So it's not the biggest die. This is the set of the biggest dies, but of this smaller one, I'm using the biggest one. There we go. So now we can just glue these and put them into the card to finish it up. Leave a nice little edge all the way around. And I don't want to forget to put those on. So this one here goes on the inside. Like that. And then this last one will go on the front. And it just all fits nicely. Now this one I'm going to put on with some dimensionals. It's an easy way to get the backs off your dimensionals. Now I'm choosing to put my points right up to the corner. That means going across. They're not pointing to the corners. So you can choose which way you want to do that. And then we'll stick one of these. Now I think I'm going to use the more bluish ones rather than the dark ones because it coordinates better with this paper. So I'm using a big one for this big snowflake. And then I'll use a couple of the small ones for the inside ones. And there you have it. Isn't that pretty? Wouldn't that be a fun card to have on display? You can make it with, you don't have to use exactly the same products that I'm using. You just coordinate your colors to the designer paper that you have. And I showed you the grid here, so you can take a screenshot of that way or that way, and you can just follow the measurements there. Okay, and if you do not have your own demonstrator yet, then here's all my information. I would love to be your demonstrator. This is my link to my Facebook page. This is my Stampin' Up! Store where you can buy the products. And this is my host code for November. If you do go to my store, please use this host code so that I will get the benefit of your sale. Of course, if you have an order that is $200 or more, then don't use the host code because then you will be given the choice to get the hostess gifts. Okay, and that's it for today. Thanks for stopping in. Bye-bye.